Even if I put all of my hard work, all of my sweat, all of my tears into what I do, it's not gonna work because you know what? Life hates me and I just have bad luck. In this video, we're going to take a look at Watch This If You're Tired of Being Broke by Gabe Bolt. If you're watching this, sorry if I completely crushed your last name.
If you're feeling stuck in a rut financially, you don't know what to do, you're just sick and tired of being broke, obviously what you're doing is not working and you need to make some changes in your life. Some of them are big, some of them are small, and some of them are just in your mind. And these are some of those changes that I made that turned my finances completely around.
If you're doing something right now and you see that you're not getting the results that you want, you probably need to switch up what you're doing. If you're not getting the results that you want, it could either be that you're not doing the right thing to begin with, so no matter how hard you work, you will not get your desired outcome. To give you an example, if your dream is to make 7 figures a year, however, you just work at McDonald's, you might be working 12 hours a day, super hard. You try to do your best possible job. With just that job, you will never get to 7 figures in annual revenue. Now, obviously, I don't think anyone is thinking that they're going to become a millionaire by making burgers for McDonald's. However, it's just a simple example to show you the importance of having leverage. If you want to make a lot of money, you will not be able to do so unless you've got a lot of leverage to play with. And typically, leverage can be leveraging other people's time, other people's capital, like for instance, the capital of investors or the capital of the bank, for instance, taking out a loan. And it could also be leveraging automations, systems, processes, and even artificial intelligence and machines. Einstein said the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over again and yet expect a different outcome. So with him, I agree completely. If you don't have the results that you want and you've been doing your routine for a long amount of time, then probably it means that you need to change something.
First of all, you don't have bad luck. This is something that I used to feel when I had no money. It'd be like, yeah, with my luck, we're gonna miss this. With my luck, I'm not gonna get that job. With my luck, whatever.
It's true that if you think like this, whatever you start, you will fail. If before you even start something, you think, oh my god, I have such bad luck, it's never going to work. Even if I put all of my hard work, all of my sweat, all of my tears into what I do, it's not gonna work because you know what? Life hates me and I just have bad luck. If you think like that, you may as well not even get started in the first place. Because believe me, you won't get what you want. Like I know on social media recently, like in the last couple years or so, the whole concept of mindset, it became really popular within the self-improvement community and even within the business/entrepreneurship community. And so lots of people decided to make fun of it by saying that if you just focus on mindset, you won't get what you want. At the end of the day, you need to roll up your sleeves and to actually sit down at your desk and do the boring work that you need to do to reach your goals. And that's completely true. However, you cannot completely disregard the mindset part of things. Because like I said, if you don't think that you can, well, you're not even going to start. Or even if you do start, you will just half-ass everything. You won't give it your everything. What I've personally noticed is that depending on the way that I think, depending on what my thought processes are on a daily basis, I am going to be either very productive or on the opposite, very unproductive. I'm not like one of those people who is going to claim that if you want to become rich, all you need to do is to just manifest it. Like stand in front of a mirror every morning as a part of your morning routine and repeat a bunch of affirmations like I deserve to be rich, I am a millionaire, I am a billionaire, or whatever the hell people even say, and then you will just manifest your success and you will attract good luck and all that stuff. It helps to have a positive mindset, but it's not the only thing, obviously. However, you need to start there. It's kind of like if somebody wants to lose some weight or build muscle, but they highly believe that no matter what they do, they will never be able to look like they want to look. Now, fair enough, some people, they have very unrealistic standards, but for most people, their goals are attainable. Most people, to be honest, they don't necessarily even want to be millionaires. What I've noticed is that for most people, they want to pick their own schedule, to have financial freedom and financial abundance, to be able to buy the things that they want without having to worry about the price tag. They also want to buy nice gifts for the people that they love. They want to go on vacation, to travel, to enjoy life. That's all that they want. And money doesn't always buy freedom. Because you could be a CEO or an executive working for a big corporation and you might make 6 figures a year and you might drive a really nice car. But at the end of the day, if you work 80 hours a week, you make some nice money. But if you don't have any time to spend that money, to have any hobbies, to spend time with your family, to travel, to do the things that you want to do in life outside of work, what's the point? That's why I genuinely believe that if you want to obtain financial freedom, financial abundance, make 10k a month, 15k a month, even more than that, and just build your life around your own values, live life on your own terms, your best bet is to start your own online business. Why? Because all you need to get started is a steady internet connection, a laptop, and of course the right knowledge. If you want to start your own online business but you have no clue what to do, I have recorded a free video in which I analyze every popular online business model so that we can figure out together which one is the best to start for beginners and most importantly to start for you. We take a look at the pros and at the cons of each business model. If you're interested, the link is in the description below.
And you got to get out of that mindset because you are incredibly lucky. You have access to the internet, you're somehow watching this video, you probably have a roof over your head, you have access to clean water, you're probably not starving to death. You're incredibly lucky. So the first thing is changing your mindset from rich people just got lucky, that person who's successful and built their own business or reached financial independence, they were just lucky, and realize that luck is created by putting yourself in a position to get lucky.
It's true that most people, when they see somebody who is more successful than them, or when they see somebody who is massively successful, like let's say a millionaire or a celebrity or a pro athlete, they'll often say that, oh, that person, they got lucky anyway. They had the right circumstances, or they knew the right people. And by doing this, what these people are trying to do is to discredit all of the hard work that those athletes, millionaires, business owners had to put in to get to the level where they are today. Now, I'm not going to sit here and to pretend that your starting point in life, or that your circumstances, or even to begin with your intelligence, your skills, all that stuff, your network, I'm not going to pretend that it doesn't play a part in your rise to success, or in how fast you end up becoming a millionaire, or a pro athlete, or everything like that. I mean, if Michael Jordan was 5'2", I mean, do you really think he would have become that basketball legend that he is today? Probably not. So in a way, yes, your starting point and luck in general, it plays a part in whether or not you'll be able to be successful, or even how fast you'll be able to get to the top. But it doesn't mean that all those people who succeeded, they didn't have to work hard. I mean, believe me, when you start to make a substantial amount of money, a lot of people, they're going to say that you're lucky anyway. Now, there is a quote that I really love. It's volume negate luck. People, like I said, they're often quick to say, oh, this person, they got lucky. But in my opinion, there is no such thing as an overnight success. What looks like an overnight success, in reality, it probably took decades, and if not decades, well, at least years of hard, intense, focused work in the shadows, while nobody was there to watch. When you see somebody with a great physique, with a great body, you might envy them. You might think that they're lucky to look like that. But truthfully, they put in the work. Maybe they go to the gym every day. Maybe their diet is on point every day. Maybe they don't go to the club and to party every night because they want to sleep properly. And fair enough, they might have the right genetics, but at the end of the day, without all of their hard work, their genetics, it wouldn't mean anything. To give you an example, on YouTube, if you want to grow your channel, you will have to upload many videos. You cannot expect to blow up your channel with just uploading a couple of videos whenever you feel like it. Because if you do that, then you're going to upload a video every month or so. It's kind of like if you want to get in shape, but you don't want to follow a workout program and an eating plan. If you don't want to make any sacrifices, well, I'm sorry to break it to you, but those extraordinary goals that you might have, they will never come true. The bigger your dreams, the more effort and also the more time and sacrifice you'll have to make in order to get there. But by doing more, oftentimes, you increase your chances of getting quote-unquote lucky. If you do more, then naturally you'll obtain more. Now, it's not always true, because sometimes you can reach a point which is called the point of diminishing returns. It means that past a certain point, if you do more than you already do, you'll get diminishing returns. So you need to figure out what's the sweet spot. How much do I need to do? How hard do I need to push myself? And at the same time, you must be careful not to do too much and not to push yourself too hard. Because one of the things that could happen, for example, is that you reach a state where you just burn out. You cannot handle this anymore. So bottom line, the more you do, the more reps you do, so to speak, the luckier you will get. That is one thing I can guarantee. Most people, they need to do more. They're just not doing enough.
Putting in a lot of work, putting yourself out there, and that's when opportunities come. When you're putting things out there, when you're trying things, it's not just gonna happen if you keep doing what you're doing. You stay in your little box, you keep going to work, doing your same things. You're not gonna get a big break if you're not like just trying different things.
Really, should you try out 10 different things? Maybe, but in my opinion, you shouldn't try out 10 different things at the same time. In business, one of the most fundamental lessons that you need to learn is that you need to focus on one thing. If you're really scattered brain, you struggle to focus on just doing the work or focusing on one thing only, I recommend that you read the book called The One Thing. Because one thing that I can guarantee is that if Michael Jordan was trying to compete in 10 different sports, he would not be the basketball legend that he is today. And the same concept applies in business. If you are trying to work on different businesses at the same time, unless you reach a certain level and you're already pretty successful, so you have other people manage your businesses for you and take care of everything for you, and you just have to manage the overall structures, it's not going to work if you try to do 10 things at the same time. And if we go even more in depth, if you try to target multiple types of people at the same time, multiple niches at the same time, it's a recipe for disaster and for catastrophe, in my opinion, when you are a beginner in business. I've had many calls with business owners and also wannabe business owners, and most of the people who told me that they were trying to serve plumbers and also real estate agents, and like they were working with multiple niches at the same time, offering different services and products, most of those people, they didn't make any money. So if right now you have a business and you try to target different types of customers, stop doing that. Instead, focus on only one type of customer and sell one product or one service. Then when you master that, you can expand. But first, master level 1 before you move on to level 2. It's kind of like in a video game. You don't want to skip the levels.
However, if you do want to get out of this, it's gonna suck because you can't keep doing what you've been doing. It's clearly not working. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be watching this video. If you're not on your way to retiring with a comfortable amount of money, if you don't have an emergency fund, if you're in debt, if your spending's out of control, unless you make big life changes, your finances will not get better.
A lot of people, they just rely on the government or on their savings for retirement. But let me tell you, that is a terrible idea. Unless you've been investing steadily every month in the stock market, ever since you started to work, then chances are when you retire, you won't really have that much money to splurge. I just don't even like the idea of retirement in the first place. Fair enough, everybody needs to rest and to take breaks. And that's especially true if you have a physical job. However, this whole concept that you work hard your entire life, you work slave-like hours, you have no freedom or barely any, you have a couple weeks of vacation per year, but even then you've got to take care of lots of responsibilities, maybe of your kids, of stuff, you have to pay taxes. You don't really even get to enjoy your vacation at the end of the day. I've seen so many people growing up, like family members and all, their vacation, it's just sitting on the couch watching TV. I mean, what kind of a life is that? You work super hard all year for a job that doesn't pay you that much, and then all you can do is just watch TV for like a week or two during the year. Is that really the sort of life that you want to live? Because I knew that's not the type of life that I want for myself and for my loved ones. You need to take control of your financial future, because nobody, literally nobody, is going to take your finances and your life, your own personal well-being more seriously than you. And the same thing applies with health. No one will take your health more seriously than literally yourself. And I'm sorry to break this to you, but no one is coming to save you. If you don't do something right now to build other streams of income, to start making more money, then the fall is going to hit really hard.
If you keep doing what everybody else does, you're gonna get what everybody else gets.
Over 70% of millennial men say that at some point they will become millionaires. However, in reality, not even 1% of the world's population is actually a millionaire. So while it's great to have big goals, big ambitions, and to want things really badly, I mean, at the end of the day, just because you want something really badly, it's not going to happen on its own. You're not just going to manifest it out of thin air by wanting it really badly. I mean, sometimes you will hear people say, if you don't have what you want, it's because you're not working hard enough. You don't want it bad enough. It's about who wants it the most. And to some degree, there is some truth to that. However, hard work on its own, it is not enough. You need to be working at the right thing. I literally always give this example, but if you work at McDonald's, you could be working super hard, 12-hour days. You will never make $1 million just with that job. So not only do you need to work hard, because let's face it, it's not easy. If you want to get rich, to make 6 figures a year, or even to obtain financial independence, you're gonna have to work hard. Most people, they don't reach that level for a reason. But at the same time, what matters even more than how hard you work is how smart you work. And by that I mean, what opportunity are you using to make money? If you have an online business, for example, the amount of money that you can make, it's literally infinite. People say the sky is the limit. There is no limit. With an online business, you could make $1 million a day. You could make $10 million a day. Technically speaking, there is nothing physically preventing you from getting that kind of outcome. There is no law in the entire universe that says that it's impossible for you to make $1 million a day or $10 million a day with an online business. However, good luck making $1 million a day by flipping burgers at McDonald's.
In fact, if you do want to make the change, you're going to have to sacrifice things that you probably enjoy. You might have to sacrifice your weekends, you might have to sacrifice video games, you might have to sacrifice some time with your kids or travel, you might have to sacrifice going out to dinner, that blowing off steam after a hard day's work. In order to make more money, to change your situation, to gain skills, you're gonna actually have to make sacrifices for the short term in order for the rest of your life to be way better than it is right now. It's gonna have to suck for a little bit.
A lot of people, unfortunately, they're not willing to make the necessary sacrifices on the short term to build an incredible life on the long term for themselves and for their loved ones. But believe me, if on the short term you are willing to make all of the necessary sacrifices to build an incredible life, you will only thank your younger self for having put in the work. I see how most people spend their 20s. They just go and take drugs, they go to the club, they show up to lectures in university, but they're still hungover. I mean, really, people don't want it bad enough. They're not willing to put in the necessary work. Truthfully, it's a lot easier to just blame your circumstances, blame your DNA, blame your genetics, blame your parents, and all that stuff. It's completely easier to do that than it is to roll up your sleeves and to get to work. Quite frankly, most of the time, I don't feel super excited to get to work. It's only when I'm in the flow of doing things that I actually start to enjoy the activities that I am doing. The same applies to working out. Every day I wake up at 6 a.m., I eat breakfast, and then I go to the gym. And sometimes, to be honest, the last thing I want to do is to go and train, have a hardcore workout session. But then when I'm doing it, I never quit the workout session. I always end up enjoying it, and afterwards, I feel great. I feel proud of myself. I've conquered a difficult challenge right at the beginning of the day, and I'm ready to go and to crush my workday.
But before you even get into that, you gotta make the cut. What is the cut? Pride has to go out the window right now, and you have to just stop spending money. This is the fastest way to change your finances. Like right now, if you go in your closet, you probably have enough clothes to live for the next couple of years probably without buying almost anything. You stop going out to dinner altogether. I had 2 years where I probably went out to dinner maybe 5 times, and probably a couple of those other people paid for. You need to be okay with driving an older beater car. I used to drive a cheap Honda Civic. You gotta lower your housing somehow by maybe moving back in with your parents, getting a roommate, moving to a cheaper part of town. That's a huge thing. That's not just something you do. That's a big life choice that you have to make. But your housing is generally your biggest expense. So if you want to actually start saving money, you're going to have to sacrifice in these big categories where a lot of your budget is going. And for these couple of years, this might feel embarrassing. It might not be like all that fun because you're probably not going out and spending money having fun. You can do a ton of stuff for free that is fun, but you're not like spending money to have fun.
It's true that if you want to change your life and you want to become wealthier, you will have to make many sacrifices. However, I don't think it's always necessary to just restrain yourself all of the time, to never enjoy having dinner or to never go and to do this thing that you want to do, to allow yourself to experience this thing. I've tried to cut out everything from my life at some point, and I can tell you that this is when I was the most miserable. All I was doing was working, and I didn't really do anything else that I enjoyed. And so everything became meaningless, because honestly, when you put in the work on a daily basis, you're not going to see instant results. So you still need to make sure that you have fun every day and that you still like your life in general. Sure, you might have to make some sacrifices. And a lot of people in the finance space are going to tell you, you need to save every penny. You need to invest $200 a month in the stock market for 50 years straight, and then maybe you will retire with $1 million or 2 in the bank. Or they say invest in real estate, but it's the same story. And while you can invest in these things and end up pretty wealthy after decades of hard work, I think that there's a much easier way to go about things. The average millionaire is 57 years old. However, with the rise of the internet and of social media platforms, the number of young millionaires is rising. And the only reason that's possible is because people start online businesses. This can allow you to make 6 figures, 7 figures in your 20s or even in your 30s. Even if you had a really high-end job that pays you really well, you work for a big corporation like Amazon maybe, if you wanted to get to 6 figures a year, you would need decades of slave-like hours. And also you'd probably need a very expensive degree from a very fancy university. And not everyone can do that. So I completely disagree with the people who say that you should save every penny and penny pinch your whole life, never buy a $5 Starbucks coffee, because I just think, what the hell is this kind of life? Is this really why you're on this planet? If you have access to the internet, and you do because you're watching this video right now, you have at least a phone or a tablet, a laptop, you have an opportunity right now that is insane. Does it mean it's going to be easy? No. Does it mean everyone is going to succeed and make 6 or 7 figures a year? No. However, if you don't try, you'll never know if you could. So what I would recommend that you do is that yes, if you want to change your financial situation right now, you stop buying a whole bunch of stuff that you don't necessarily need to live, like you cover your monthly expenses like rent, food, electricity, because those are the basics, you need them to live, and then you save up as much money as you can, but not just to save up, to start your own online business, to invest in your own online business. Like I said, if you want to figure out which business is the best to start for beginners, even if you don't have that much money to invest, I've made a free video that explains everything in detail. The link is in the description below if you are interested. But yeah, saving for the sake of saving, just to maybe one day enjoy life, it is a terrible idea. And people tell you that you have your entire life ahead of you. But that's not true. To begin with, you don't know when you're going to die. It could happen in like 5 years, 2 years, you don't even know. It could happen in 10 minutes. Is it likely? Not necessarily, especially if you're young. But bottom line, you don't know. And also, what people don't tell you is that 1 year of your life when you're 60 years old, it's not the same as when you're 20. If you have 7 figures in your bank account when you're 60, sure, you can do lots of things maybe. And even by then, with inflation, $1 million will really be just 100k. And nowadays with 100k, you can't really do that much stuff, especially if you live in a big city like New York or Los Angeles or in a big capital. You've got to understand that with inflation, $5 million today, it's actually the new $1 million. Back then with $1 million, you could buy so much more stuff than you can right now. And that is because of inflation. And saving money on its own, it's never going to make you rich. It's a game that is unwinnable because you might save $1,000. You might even manage to save $10,000 a year if you are very extreme. But at the end of the day, with inflation year after year, your money is losing value. And also it doesn't multiply. So you will only have ever $10,000 a year at maximum. So saving money will never allow you to get to 7 figures a year or even 6 figures a year, 10k a month. You should only save to invest as much money as possible in the growth of your own online business. You need to figure out how to make more money, how to multiply your money. There's making more money, saving money, and then multiplying money. And how do you multiply money? Either you reinvest in your business or you invest in the stock market, in high-end watches, in collector items, or even in real estate. So you should not be focusing on investing in real estate, luxury watches, all the stuff we've just covered. You should save your money to start your own online business and make more money. And then with the money that you make, you can take some of your profits and invest them to secure your assets and build up your net worth and build your wealth. That's exactly what rich people do. How do rich people get richer? They own assets, they buy assets, and they hold on to them. And with inflation, their assets gain value without them having to do more work on their part, because all they need to do is to maintain the assets, and they naturally gain value over time thanks to inflation.
For me, I honestly enjoyed this whole process because I gamified it. I was living in a small apartment while fixing it up, while working 3 different jobs, never going out to dinner, buying my food at like bulk discount food places. And while it might not have been as fun as going on vacations and buying whatever I want, it completely changed my life. But unfortunately, saving money isn't really enough. We have to earn more. Well, cutting down expenses is the fastest way to make a change. Earning more is where real progress is made. And this is where a lot of sacrifice comes in. I had a full-time job. I had 2 part-time jobs while renovating an apartment, which I had no experience doing. So I was like watching YouTube videos on how to do that. And then I also started my YouTube channel on top of all those things. So it's like literally wake up, start working, and then don't stop working till like you go to bed and you're exhausted. And it takes that amount of kind of sucking and sacrificing a lot of things in order to build up an emergency fund and then build up enough money so that I could start investing, and then doing the same thing and investing more and buying another rental.
Like I said, in my opinion, having a few rental units, it's great, it's a good investment, but you should focus on starting your own online business, because you can start it for very cheap, less than $1,000. If you really want, you could even start it for less than $100, but you would have to figure out everything on your own. It's a lot easier to buy a step-by-step blueprint made by someone who's done it before. But the goal is to start a cash flow oriented business, meaning your margins are very high, because having multiple jobs, while it might allow you to make more money, I mean, you're going to be exhausted, like you said. You're working all of the time non-stop, it's not fun. And if you get paid $12 an hour for painting stuff or doing some errands or whatever, you won't be able to make that much more money. It's not like you're going to be able to go from $12 an hour all the way up to $120 per hour. It's not going to happen. However, with an online business, you can get so many customers, and it's not like they care about your degree. All that people care about is that you either give them a product that they find valuable, and that's typically what people do with dropshipping or with affiliate marketing, or that you provide a valuable service to them. And technically you might think, okay, but what if I don't have the skills to provide that service myself? Well, you can simply get paid by the customer, and then yourself you hire somebody who is qualified, who can do the work for your customer. Your job would essentially to be a middleman and to take a cut. And you are not any less legitimate than any other business by doing this. This is exactly what every business in the world is doing. They have customers, they hire people, and the people do the work for the customers. And then the CEOs, the investors, they profit off of that system.
All while making like under the median income, but because I was working so many different jobs, I was able to actually live off of one income and then save everything from all the other ones. It's also important during this time to work on skills that are higher value. You might have one job where you're earning $20 an hour, you get home at 5 o'clock. Well, now's the time to take a couple hours and study a skill that will make you $50 or $100 an hour, because there's millions of people making way more than whatever you make, like literally. And the only difference between them and you is knowledge. So we need to spend time learning high value skills, and then eventually we can go from working all these different things to having one thing that you spend less time doing and you earn twice as much as you were before, which is eventually what happened to me. But that comes with sacrificing the nights and weekends, learning skills that are actually of high value.
It's true that typically the more skills you have and the more in demand those skills are, the more money people will be willing to pay you for. However, at the end of the day, if you are always trading your time for money, there is only so much money that you will be able to make in a given month or in a given year. At some point, if you really want to obtain financial freedom, to be able to travel whenever you want, to pick your own schedule, and to not have to work 80 hours a week, to be exhausted because all you do is work, you will need to delegate and to hire other people. And this will allow you to have so much more freedom. I cannot stress this point enough. And truthfully, why would you not delegate and hire other people? Some people can do the work 10 times better than you ever could. Why? Because either they're very passionate about it, so they do it really well, or they have simply been doing it for so long that they surpass you in terms of skills. So bottom line, if you are sick and tired of being broke, the best thing that you can do is to start your own online-based business. So if you're interested in starting your own business, you have no clue what to do, like I said, I have recorded a free video that explains everything in detail. I'm going to show you a 3-step process that you can use to get started today and to start getting your very first customers. The link is in the description below if you're interested. And with that said, as always, I am waiting for you on the other side.